Hello everybody, welcome to That Synth Show, episode 3, featuring Synth Samurai. Thank you all for joining me, it's been a pleasure, and for all you who started at 1 and 2 and 3, we get to grow together, it's going to be beautiful. So tonight we got something a little different. I'm going to start with 5 ways to supercharge your productivity. Now, a lot of people ask the Synth Samurai, how'd you do 110 videos in 10 months? Well, I'm going to show you the 5 tips that helped me get there. Right after that, we got a musician showcase as usual, featuring Synthfantasy and Fabio Andreozzi from Gazillion Zero, his new formed band on Spotify. And right after that, the Poor Man Synth Review, the Behringer 800. Thank you for joining me. This is That Synth Show. All right. Let's say hello to our teacher, Katana Behringer from the Behringer Dynasty. Today she's gonna be just looking pretty while we go over those 5 tips. So, tip number 1. Let's get right into it. Turn on your gear. Now, if you're like me, you can come home, you might sit on the couch, you might crack a beer, you might call a friend, or you might just do nothing at all. And you know you want to play that song. You know you want to write that book. You know you want to paint that picture. So first thing I do is I get in the house, come upstairs, pop, turn on all the gear, because I know that I got to turn it off then. And I don't know how I figured this out. I just started doing it. And I leave, go downstairs, and then I'm like, I got to go turn that gear off. Or my missus says, go turn that gear off. So I walk upstairs, hit the keys, and before you know it, song comes out. So that's the first thing. I mean, that's a simple tip I think everybody can apply, and it doesn't matter if you're a painter. Squirt some paint in that little thing, whatever that's called. Wax some on the canvas, boom, you got a painting. Want to write a book? Write something. Get your pen and paper out. You want to go for a run? Put on your running shoes. That's how we do it. Step 1, put on your gear. Now step 2, smash the resistance. I don't know if you guys know about the resistance, but I read this book by Stephen Pressfield called The War of Art. And if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend picking it up. It's mostly about writing, but every aspect in it applies to any form of art or creativity. So I mean, in this book he talks about things like the resistance. So the resistance is, I don't know, you might call it a demon. I don't know what you want to call it, but the resistance is something that stops you from doing what you want to do. Take this passage out of the book. Resistance is directly proportional to love. If you're feeling massive resistance, the good news is it means there's tremendous love there too. If you didn't love the project that is terrifying you, you wouldn't feel anything. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. So the more resistance you experience, the more important your unmanifested art, project, enterprise is to you. And the more gratifying you will feel when you finally do it. So, I mean, we're all fighting the resistance. I fight it every day. You fight it every day. We all fight it every day. But I like it. I like that idea because, you know, it helps you really think about what's blocking you from doing what you love doing. Another thing coming from that book, the rule of thumb is the more important a call or action is to our soul's evolution, the more resistance we will feel towards pursuing it. Now, you know it. You know there's things you love. You know there's things you love right now that you want to do. You know there's things yesterday you wanted to do, and there's things tomorrow you want to do. So just remember, when you want to do it and something in your head says no, that's the resistance. Whatever you can do or dream, you can begin it. Boldness has genius, magic, and power in it. Begin it now. You know, I mean, action Jackson. All right, so that's the idea behind smashing the resistance. So get in the house, turn on your gear, pick up your things, and then the next thing is resistance. But you already turned on the gear, so now you got to fight the resistance twice. And the second time you know how to beat them. All right, let's move on to number 3. exercise and fresh air. So I was reading these studies a while ago about neuroplasticity, and neuroplasticity is what connects your neural pathways. You know, it helps you form new trails to different parts of your brain. So, you know, when we look at this little chart here, like neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to rewire itself by paving new neural pathways when it feels the need to adapt. In simple words, our brain is ever growing, ever changing, ever improving. So, I mean, you can go around the horn here. You can read them yourself. I won't read them all out to you, but right down at the bottom here, we got create music or try learning a new instrument. Now, we all know it's hard, but just by doing it, that moment when things start clicking and you're like, oh crap, the black keys all sound good together. Or, I mean, blue and red makes purple. When you start getting that stuff, that's a pathway in your mind. The trail is forming, you know? So that's neuroplasticity. And the beautiful thing about neuroplasticity is when you mix that with exercise, supercharged. Now you're going through, instead of going through a trail with a machete, you're going through a trail with a chainsaw. And you're really carving out those trails. So that's neuroplasticity. And, you know, back to Stephen, you know, most of us have two lives, the life we live and the unlived life. Within us, between the two stands resistance, right? So, and guess what's in those trails and those neural pathways? Resistance. So the more times you meet that monster there, the easier it is, and the quicker you'll learn how to beat them. All right. So one of the other things I was checking out was this study on neuroplasticity, and you can go read it for yourself. There's lots of studies, but this one here, you know, it says physical exercise enhances neuroplasticity. Don't worry about Alzheimer's. You eat good, and it's not inevitable. You can beat Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is just it's just something I think society has pumped into us through all the crappy food and chemicals and all that stuff, and you know, lack of exercise. But when you combine physical exercise with learning a new skill or practicing a skill you're learning, drop and do 10 push-ups right before you hit those keys. You know, do some chin-ups, hit the chin-ups, you know, and then that's gonna supercharge. That's gas for your chainsaw. All right, so you can read that study on your own. You just type it in, neuroplasticity and exercise. All right, so that's that. Number 4, keep it simple. This is something that we all wrestle with. Is, you know, you go in, maybe you got, I'll relate it to music, but you keep it anything. Maybe you want to create this epic score for a soundtrack. You want to do this crazy chord progression or something you're working on, but you know, just go in and start with something simple, the regular A, F, G, you know, do 3 things simple, run it through a couple sequences, or I'm going to keep it to music, you know. Painters, you get what I'm talking about. Keep it simple and then build complexity from the simplicity. Instead of starting with a crazy chord progression or something super complicated in your mind, have the idea of what you want to do, but just start real simple and just start adding to it, making it. The key is to just do it. So by keeping it simple, sometimes it is simple. And number 4, have fun and flow. The main reason we get into these hobbies and things is because we want to flow, we want to have fun, you know, we want to, like this song is doing here now, you just want to get in that groove. You just want to flow. Flow state, an optimal state of consciousness where we feel our best and perform our best. We've all been there, you know. I used to do martial arts, man. Some days you go in the gym and you're sparring, and feels like you can't miss. Everything's landing, you're flowing, you can't get hit. Other days you go in there, you get smoked. Come out with a black eye, bloody nose, fat lip. And you're like, what the hell happened here tonight? And it's because you weren't in a flow state. And flow state is not just something abstract, it's something pretty specific, you know. So let's look at this chart. Let me make it a little bigger here. flow chart. All right, so cover up Miss Behringer for a minute. So the idea of the flow state is to get to the point where the challenge that you're undertaking and the skills that you have intersect, all right? And they cut right up that middle. So, I mean, we look at the chart, look at boredom, relaxed, depressed. So boredom means you've given yourself a challenge it's just not hard enough. You know, you're not gonna say, I'm gonna go for a run, and then you go out and you run for 10 seconds. That's not a challenge, you know? But if you're not gonna say, I'm gonna go for a run, I'm gonna run a marathon, because guess what? You're gonna end up just not enjoying it. So same thing with music. You wanna match your skill level to the challenge you're undertaking, you know? So, and that's when you really get in a flow state, is when you start tuning in and you start figuring out, okay, where are my weaknesses and where are my strengths? And what, am I gonna use 5 keyboards tonight and try to manage them all and do a live jam? I guess I can try, but if I fail, it might give me anxiety before I even start. So if I say I'm gonna start with 2 keyboards and I start syncing them up and jamming, then, I mean, then it turns out totally different. So anyway, flow state, think about that little graph. You don't want to be getting caught in apathy, boredom, and worry and anxiety. You'd be more on the level of relaxation, enjoyment, arousal, and then attention, enjoyment. Flow is the key. We want to get in that flow, baby. All right. So, Miss Behringer, thank you very much. Want to keep that simple. I don't know, maybe I was blabbing a little too much, but thank you for joining. That's the 5 tips, and I use these all the time. But the biggest one out of all of them, smash the resistance. That's the key, is when that dark Brandon in yourself, or that dark samurai says, don't do that right now. Just do it later, you know? Procrastination, you know, don't procrastinate. We all procrastinate, but don't procrastinate. Just go do it. Do it's the key, because it's fun when you do it. It always feels better. And that there is the 5 tips to supercharge your productivity. Thanks for tuning in. If you're gonna take off after this, take off. We're gonna hit some musician showcases here with 2 of my boys. All right, let's check it out. All right, episode 3, that Synth Show. Musician showcase. So tonight we got 2 people, 2 of my favorite people on YouTube to listen to. Synthfantasy, he's amazing. He's a crazy inspiration. The stuff he creates is, again, I say it about the last couple guys, it's genius, it's magic. And when I see one of his videos come out, boom, that bell rings right to my phone. Pop the headphones in first chance I can, and I listen to it, and usually right after I'm like, man, I gotta go make something in the studio tonight. So when I get home, I turn on the gear. Now, our second artist is Fabio. Fabio's amazing. This cat's amazing. And I'm just gonna showcase a little bit of one of his songs. You can follow him on Spotify. He's got a great album on Spotify now, Gazillion Zero. So let's check him out. Without further ado, let's see what we can do. Synthfantasy. All right. Synthfantasy. Let's see what this guy's got. And go over, there's his channel, Synthfantasy. I'll throw his stuff down the bottom in the link, and you guys can go over and subscribe to him, like, and everything else. Let's play a little bit of Synthfantasy. his style. Breaking out the wave state now. Alright, that's my boy Synthfantasy's video and song there. This guy's a creative genius. You know he comes home and turns on his gear, and this guy can get into a major flow state because... Oh, that sax. That sax. This is never another sax. Oh, yeah. All right, that's Synthfantasy. So get over to his channel, subscribe, check him out. Epic. Not only does he do these videos where you can see his keyboards and stuff, he does crazy graphic videos too. We'll play another one of his on another one of the episodes. But Synthfantasy's awesome. You're the man, brother. You just know that you inspire me like crazy, and keep doing what you're doing because it's awesome, man. Great work, bud. Love it. All right. Let's check out another one. This is Fabio Andreozzi. I think I'm pronouncing your last name right, not sure, but we'll just go with Fabio for now. And we got Gazillion Zeros. He just dropped this on Spotify. It's a new album, him. And who does he do it with? Checkmaze Artist and Mr. Fabius Synth. All right, I love it. So let's check his video out. This is their first video, I think, off of this album. So let's check a bit of this out, and then you guys can check out the rest later. Oh, yeah. Got that nighttime driving music.
It's a darkest night, living out there, but you have to hide. It's the darkest night, I can see what you have to try. No one can tell me what they have inside. No one can hear me what I have to cry.
cool video.
What they have inside. No one can hear me. What I have to cry. Deeper in the dark, I am real. Breathing in the night, I can see you. I am what I dream, I am what I feel. Playing with my voice, this is what I hear. Deeper in the dark, I am real. I am real.
All right, I mean, if you don't think that is awesome, then that's okay too, but I think it's amazing. I think it's totally amazing. And you head over to Fabio's channel. He's got tons of live jams he does. They're wicked. Super inspiring guy. Awesome musician, super creative. And he's got that flow state too. He turns on the gear, he gets in there, he does live jams. So head over and check out Fabio. I'll have his link down in the description. You can go check that out, all right? Fabio, great work, man. Love you, brother. Can't believe you got an album on Spotify now, dude. Epic. All right, all right. So that's the boys. That's the boys. That's the musician showcase here. You know, that's the musician showcase. Let's head now. So now we're going to look into what I call the poor man's synth review. One of the guys who commented on one of my videos, he said, "You clickbaited me, bro." ... LOL. And I was like, clickbait? I was like, yeah, I think I needed you to click the video, but then I started thinking about it and I was like, damn, do I want to be clickbaiting people? I want you to click, and I need the bait for you to click. But when you get in there, I want you to actually get what you're clicking. So take his advice. He was on the last episode. I went and subscribed to him because he had a Juno-x, and I was like, oh, dude, sweet. But listen, I'll have a Juno-x someday in the future, and we will do a live show. But for now, I've changed the segment name to Poor Man's Synth Review, and that's a review where I watch a synth and I review it. All right, I don't play it. I'd love to play it, and I got a few that I'll play, but for now, we're gonna do the Poor Man's Synth Review, all right? And tonight, we're doing the Behringer 800. Now, I don't know what you guys think about Behringer. I love Behringer. I think Behringer, I mean, I guess I'll say it. Behringer might arguably be the best synth company in the world. I don't know. You tell me. Personally, I like Korg, but I also love Behringer. I can't afford Moogs. I can't afford Sequential, so maybe I am the poor man's synth samurai, but someday I'll get my hands on one of those. So let's look at the Behringer Pro 800. Now this thing, from everything I've looked at, this thing looks insane. All right, so I got the Neutron, I got the Model D. Got the Model D right here. All right. So we got the Model D, we got the Neutron. I'm not gonna spin it around and show the Neutron, but I got them both. And I think they're awesome. And I got the Monopoly too, and I think that's awesome. I think it sounds awesome. I'm not a synth snob or a connoisseur, I don't really know, but to me, just anything that makes a sound, I think you can make it sound cool, especially if you put it through effects pedals and stuff. So without further ado, let's get into the Behringer. It's not out yet, just like pretty much all of Behringer synths aren't out yet because of that chip shortage, but yeah. We'll see. Maybe they'll drop them all at once and just do something crazy. So let's get into we'll look at what it's got in there, and then we'll check out what it actually sounds like. All right, Pro 800, 8 analog voices, so an 8-voice Behringer synth. As of now, they've put out mono synths. They've put out a couple poly synths, like the Mono Poly and the Poly D. They both 4-note paraphony. So that's cool. They got the Deep Mind, which is a 12-voice, which is also an insane synth. And, you know, They got cool synths. Sound good. This one's different. This one's got 8 voices, 2 VCOs per voice, LFO 6 waveforms. Cool thing, it's got a polyphonic sequencer. That's next level. The next level. And then we got 400 preset slots. So depending on what, and $599, that's a poor man's synth. But the poor man has other riches, if you know what I mean. So let's see what this baby sounds like. Let's see what she sounds like. Now this is right off the Behringer site because I don't want to be stealing anyone's swag or videos or anything. So we'll stick to this. Monopoly with the Pro 800. Come on. That sounds awesome. Preset A8 sounds amazing. So $599. A21, that's nice. Sounds good to me. If they release this synth and it sounds like this, I guess I'll just have to get one. $5.99. I could sell a few t-shirts, some hoodies, get rid of some old clothes, find some more stuff around the house. Poor man style, pick one of those up. I like it. We'll listen to a little more. I don't think we're going to listen to the whole thing. We'll listen to a little more. You can go check it out on your own. Sounds awesome. Got a little clicking. I don't know if you heard that clicking in there, but that's the thing that some Behringer synths got. You got to have the attack turned up just a tad or it clicks. I don't know why. It's weird, but maybe that happens on all analog synths. I don't know. But it definitely happens on Behringer sometimes. One more. Working that LFO. I actually like that. That sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. All right, I mean, Behringer. That's cool. Behringer's wicked. I like them. I think they're a company that allows a lot of people who don't have big cash to get into the synthesizer game and experiment and play around with it. I like Arturia for that too. I mean, these big synth companies they're amazing. They make quality gear too. But one thing about Behringer lets the poor man put his hand on some real high quality sonic equipment. So I give a thumbs up to Behringer, and we featured Katana Behringer, the heiress to the Behringer dynasty, did our little class earlier. So that's the Synth Show tonight. I appreciate it. I did something a little different. I don't know how it's going to turn out, how you're going to like it, but I thought it was cool. Maybe I rushed it a little bit, maybe I didn't. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but we're going to keep going. That's episode 3. And I'll see you guys back here for episode 4 next week. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe later tonight I'll do another one. We'll see. But one thing's for sure. We'll be back. That Synth Show featuring Synth Samurai. Thank you.